She's convicted for doing these things, teaching 14-year-old girls how to give him fellatio. She was convicted of these things in a court of law. So this is not even, I can't even say allegedly because she was convicted. Allegedly is if there's no proof, if you're guessing and you don't want to say anything wrong. But these are the things she was convicted for. Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased, logical conclusions. Today I'm here once again with my co-host, who, for those of you who have not yet had the pleasure of meeting him, is going to introduce himself. Dion?
I'm 78th Assembly District Leader Dion Powell of the Bronx, New York, here from Ghana, as you can see from this beautiful background of Ghana. And I'm one of the Trump apologists from the Bronx. Check me out on Newsmax maybe in 2023 with the rest of the people in the Bronx saying that we love Trump. So I'm doing my best to say, hey, I'm here to make America great again, give you some positive things that you won't hear about in the mainstream media. Sometimes we have to censor ourselves from giving such an expressive, truthful opinion about what's going on in Trump world.
Miss Comey prosecuted him. And so the files were there. All of the files were there before he left office. And he left office and then started saying it was a Democrat that he was going to release the files, like he wasn't in office when the files were created. And that seemed to escape the consciousness, the zeitgeist of the time, and they increased the pressure to release these files. Trump gets into office, back in office 5 years later, and is still promising to release the files. Pam Bondi said, the files are on my desk. And then a couple of weeks later, she brings a couple of influencers into office. They have the files. They saw holding up and taking pictures with the files, and it was stuff that was already in the public domain. And then as time passed on, he gets into a tiff with the person that basically paid for him to sit in office. And he's like, Elon Musk comes out and says, the files, he's not going to release them, he's in them. And the base goes crazy. The MAGA base goes crazy. There's no reason to believe Elon except for, I didn't believe him, I didn't care. Most people that weren't MAGA didn't. And then a frenzy started around it. So then we start paying attention. And we're like, what is going on? Why is the MAGA base reacting that way? And then it looks like something of a cover-up ensued. We find out that, anybody that was paying attention already knew, but we didn't know, the regular people didn't know that Epstein died in jail. And they released a tape. There was a minute missing. And they said it was a glitch. So then they released the tapes. This is the raw footage. And it comes out that the footage was edited and there's actually 3 minutes missing. And some coroner said, asphyxiation. Oh my, he would die of deprivation of oxygen in that amount of time. So now it's like, okay, so now y'all are hiding something. And it keeps going. And they're like, oh, there's an amount of bones in his neck. No one that killed himself, well, the 3 bones would break. All types of wild things start coming out. And again, average person wouldn't care because we just expect it to be normal stuff. But Trump wouldn't release the files that his base is demanding for. Now we're getting curious, like what is going on? And then information starts trickling out. And Trump's story keeps changing. I wouldn't say that he SA children. It's a horrendous accusation. But the evidence piling up is starting to make him look very suspicious. He at least knew. As a matter of fact, at one point he said he knew and he reported him. So he at least knew. So, and then he's accusing all of these Democrats of being associated with this pedo, But he was one of the Democrats associated with him at the time. As a matter of fact, more associated than everybody. He was probably the closest to him. It even came out that Jeffrey Epstein referred to him as his best friend. He was the best friend of this man at the time that he was essaying children, over 1,000 of them. He was even taking them from Mar-a-Lago, which is Trump's home. So now we're all trying to figure out what happened.